All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and get this evening's board meeting started. October 4th, 2022. All in order, and let's move to the ethics awareness. Board members here. If it's unethical, don't do it. That's it. Move to the invocation. Do it.
I just will bow your head. Dear merciful Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for another day, dear Lord. I ask that you bless us and open our mind and our hearts and help us to make the best decisions for the family and the people. We ask this in your son's name.
All right.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, do we have any additions or changes to the agenda? Do I need to make us aware of?
I see there's been a lot added to it from the original agenda that I got. A lot of things added to it, it's not on the original agenda. We need to have time to look at things on the agenda items. It's coming up, we can research it on our own and get some idea of what we need to do.
Everybody get this email to them earlier today.
I didn't get my agenda till late this afternoon after all.
All right, would y'all like to make some sort of arrangement now, so we can cut it off Monday at 2, Tuesday or whatever, so we, I know Mr. Fairway doesn't partake in the email system, so how would y'all like to do that?
If it's not too much on Jennifer, I think a week. I think, like a Wednesday the week before, I mean, we can always add at the meeting.
Okay.
If that, things come up,
Yeah.
we can always add them. But I just think some things we need to have time to think about and just do it just a few hours. Do.
100% agree. Would y'all like to do Wednesday or Friday?
Friday, okay.
That's about the lead time that Kenny did. We did.
We
Seems like it's
usually do
Thursday,
them on Thursday
and
or
we
Friday.
met on Monday.
Yeah, so that was kind of the lead time. I think the board members change to look at stuff, we research on it on their own. You want to get some options, so all of a sudden, I'm not having time to look at this.
Yeah. Okay.
And as far as the IDP, and say, we can have them again, I think we should have a special meeting and go over that with you.
Okay, all right. We'll push all that in those items. Let's agree with, Ms. Jennifer, and trying to get that Friday afternoon. Someone put in. Okay. All righty.
We want to go with the original agenda put out, or just one that you want to do?
Will be the one.
If I could add, there's some things on here, and I'm just gonna throw this one out there as an example, paving contract. That's been done.
Problem is, the paving contract, $16,843 came in, $43,000 some change, the TA cannot write that check. Plus, we don't want to make payments to them, so we've got some things to discuss.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying to Mr. Carroll, no, we cannot. And we need to address these,
Okay.
or at least discuss them, and if we need to give them a special meeting, or to whatever we need to do.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. All right, anything else, Mr. Carroll? Need a motion on the adoption of this agenda? Have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Need a second? Need a second. We have to do something. What is the hope?
The whole of it, there's coming, and like the paving contract, mulching road,
These
the
are,
new town hall, and, I mean, can we not do this another time? Some of this, like the new town hall, that can be done in, that can be done.
okay, I don't think there's I think there's several items on here that were just, we need to start the discussion. There's several items in here that we probably ought to revisit. Well, the dog park, once again, which is yours, we have, for how long, we've gotten nowhere. That's all we want to do is bring it up and say, we're,
We won't.
I'd hoped that we could get through this and get these things checked off so that we could give this DA who is doing a wonderful job some direction. That's what I'm looking for. And we're dragging our feet on it. And ironically enough, I get asked about a dog park more times than pretty much anything on this list. And all I can say is I have no idea because the board doesn't want to do motion. So do y'all want to go through and pick out what we don't want to talk about? Okay. Okay.
I'm not making more like that.
Okay.
That's very good name.
Okay.
ABBUS.
Well, let's do it one time. We're not quite as quick as you are, let's do it. So we're all in agreement, we're going to swear and build it. That's a start. One-way street resolution, we can talk about that. The irony of that question is that's already been discussed. In the previous meeting, we did, once again, nothing and kick the can down the road. That's what I'm trying to do, not getting the answer. We talk about this. Okay, see, Christmas pageant. Y'all know this is October. Christmas pageant is less than 45 days. We don't talk about the Christmas pageant, guess what? There won't be enough time for special meetings. We're going to talk about city. We're not going to talk about city. I've got one saying, no, Ms. Gill. You know,
I think that'd be interesting to talk about this.
before we leave tonight, we'll come up with that separate meeting. Sure. Jamie, you agree?
Certainly, do it.
Look at the part of the town that has these events, or we all just system, Mr. Carraway.
So leave it to the events committee and whether you want to do things.
So some of the issues here is, this has been added, Jennifer is getting, we're starting Ms. Fraser per. Well, then how are we supposed to talk about it if y'all don't want to talk about it? It's kind of the part, the reason why this is on here, was the parade float. We discussed getting a trailer for a parade float. It's October, we don't start discussing this now, and give Mr. Bailey the direction of what to do. We're going to end up out there with miniature John Deere tractor and something from Rose Harbor. Well, are you gonna spend any money on a parade float?
Fair deal.
I was gonna say, if there's a money expenditure, we're gonna talk about.
Any amount?
I'm sure there's a small amount, I can talk about. Most items, budget, would have to be the budget. From my account, and,
So we're gonna move this to a separate subject. All right, I think we need to deal with the letter from the fire department, we all do that, Bill, everybody, Kenny, Sam, okay. Delinquent taxes, we deal with that. Tag office notary fees. Pay the board bills, she's gonna do with that. Office lease agreements, you wanna do that tonight? Office lease agreements. The Meadowbrook contract. All right. I'm sure we're gonna kick the skydiving and fishing tournament for a special meeting. So do we do that on a separate special meeting, or do we have a third special? We do all these at once.
I mean, when are we gonna do this guy?
This is October.
Okay, well, today is,
The problem is we have to get deposits to the state into the skydiving. Mr. Bailey's been waiting on that contest to add some deposits. So, if we don't look up. Counting Newland signs. Put it on ten. don't know, the one that comes in from West Brewer is the cheap one.
What about the Denton out here, the one on that?
The one county always throws up the road. They're all the same, they're all laminate, right? I don't think they're all at the same time. So do we make that a separate meeting? Because that can be done with the, street signs from Paul Johnson and Tom Brooks. We have the same meeting?
It's something that needs to do with long-term planning board or like short-term planning, you know,
That's fine.
it's kind of group of them.
And have people involved, maybe in the design and the, maybe after the winter.
So do we do this as a separate meeting? Streetlights.
That's the same meeting as, improvement board.
Yeah, I mean, I think you go.
Well, it's kind of like on the street, too. And then we input into this thing, you know, anything about it, cost very more.
That's why we're trying to have this meeting, we voted, we started this back in November of last year, we voted, okay, I'm trying to, but when we came in, we started talking about, it, we voted at the end of this year to do it, and that's as far as it's gotten. So we like,
We voted to do it, but I think voted, I know how much it's gonna cost, where it's coming from. We can do the contract with this meeting, townspeople, community. Right now, I don't have that information.
and that's the purpose of bringing it up tonight, is it's not going to just come out of the ground on its own. We have to tell Mr. Baker.
Well, I guess what I need, is some kind of direction, it would be like, all like the same way as we have out there now, or the decorative, like, I just kind of need a direction, so I can go get it. And bring it back, that's all I'm trying to ask for.
That's information we would need.
And, well, Kenny, that's,
You go ahead, you want to do this. When I try to make a comment, you can interrupt. That was on board. If we would be able to go ahead, to give us this information, then we can make a decision. That's all we need to do is get the information back, we have something to do.
so I'm confused, are we allowed to talk about this tonight, so that we can give him the direction that he needs, so y'all can get a discussion about it?
Here's an idea, just to talk about. If we in particular know that we like a certain design or style, why don't we send our picture of that to Bill via email? And if you have no preference at all, let him just shop around for some varieties of, like, posts, whatever you want to call them. And then send us an email, just the same way that Gary did with the snow. Perfect. And it's made a decision, got it done, they're off, you know? It doesn't, we don't need to choose one specific for that one. We need to give you direction and let you know.
Yeah, I wasn't asking specific, I was looking at generalities. You know, you get 20-foot tall poles, 10-foot tall poles.
I think we want something that would be cost effective, however it looks, but
Yeah, and that's,
so combine the two.
yeah, the decorative part is what I mean. I know, I've got some parameters, because I know we have to have flags, and I know we have to have outlets on there, lights. That's the other mountain, and there's some stuff on the side, those are
All right, we move on to the next one. So are we talking about streetlights tonight, or are we halfway talk about it? Paving contract, we have to discuss this. Motion contract. I think we can probably get that down to the next month, but we need to discuss this additional $4,500. How that one has got slide. Are we talking about tonight, or we move to another day?
Okay, let's work on it.
All right? Water meters. I mean, I get the impression you folks think that I'm the one who made this list, and that's why y'all are trying to.
Okay, you're not?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and I appreciate that y'all don't want to discuss anything I want to discuss. This is all coming from your TA. We had a meeting, I said, what do you need? And these are things I need, so we made this list. That's why I was kind of rebuffing you on the whole, we need to do this because things come up at the last minute that, the TA that's doing a good job needs to know. This has nothing to do with Derek Roberts and animosity towards him. This is coming from the TA. Yeah. We're allowed to discuss water meters. We will not discuss the golf. We will not discuss the new town hall. Those are 132 tables. All right.
I would like for us to add Mr. Church on the agenda.
Okay. Just like Mr. Trigger's name.
Yeah, he's here, well, you can ride with Sue Johnson, but he's here with the same call.
Ms. Johnson, are you here? You are? Mr. Church won't put you in right at, I think it's the, all right.
So we just have to move through.
Do the vacant property, is this the one we have? That's what I think we should have.
Do you know what you want to mention about it?
We want to know the county to take care of it, and I think we're going to do inspections and things done for,
It's a minimum housing, and our ordinance requires the county building inspector to handle minimum housing. So we refer it.
So we can take that off.
It's just, it's there for you to understand what's going on, you know.
Notify the board. We have a motion. This is, second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Swear in Mr. Bailey. I state your name.
I officially
solemnly swear that I will well and truly execute the duties of town administrator and will, according to the best of my skills and ability, with the law of Oh, sorry. All right, that's first. One-way straight for this resolution, so the TA needs to treat resolution for right here, and I think we also discussed earlier. Journal Street. Oh, that's the resolution, so we already have a resolution.
Yeah, so based on direction, we drafted a resolution for you to decide on.
Okay.
To take this alleyway from the front to the back, not all the way down. Turn it one way, heading south of there. And then on the right side is going to be, parking on the left side of the one.
Okay. That's what we all discussed. Okay. All right. What about Journal Street? We want to tell the town about Journal Street?
Sure. So we had a complaint or a request from citizens. Journal Street is a gravel road alley that runs right behind, Yellow Mountain. And it runs for 2 blocks. So it's gravel and it's creating some dust. There's a complaint about that. It's also being used by large trucks as a 2-way. That's really a 1-way width. And as they're coming down, toward the bottom and making the right-hand turn to try to get back up on the Page Street, Yeah, I think,
Yeah, you need,
so I just need direction to do that. So the question is paving it, is we get a price for that. If you're interested in doing that and then turning it into one.
I think we should go ahead and move forward, see if one way. I already have issues now with repairs, no progress.
Yeah, it comes into a narrow street, and so they're not able to really make a wide turn.
We'll have a motion, one-way street, from one Tesla to Inola Street. Do I have, do I accept it? All in favor, say aye. Yes. All right, move. Letter from fire department, Ms. Benfield, come on.
I'm here, as y'all probably know, we have not received our payment, which is due July 1st. And it was spoken to me when I talked to people that, so we were going to get $7,000.
75.
Okay, $75. Well, I can read from the 10 minutes. I won't read all of it, just to make this quick. Lauren made a motion to change the contract to 20,000, 2022-2023. James stated that we do not need to vote on it, we will just fit it into next year's budget. That's the end of the gist of that speech, which it was voted on, three yea, 2 nay. But regardless, here it is, no, for $20,000.
No, I don't think anybody here voted for him.
Yes, I know for a fact that he was. And the newspaper, it was in the newspaper. It stated the town of Newland approved, and I have the article, approved that we would up the fire department's yearly contract with $20,000. So, what happened? Why aren't we glad that we've been paid for one, any amount? Two, what happened?
It personally addressed 20,700. I thought you guys decided to go with 70,000. I distinctly recall everybody rebuffed the 20,000, and I first support the fire department, and did a great job. Everybody back down. What I recall, 70,000. I don't know where we voted on 20. You know,
I'd have to look back.
do you feel like you would vote for $20,000?
I don't think I would have, but I can, I mean,
Ms. Christie, what do you recall?
I think, I'm gonna talk about it, but
Katie, what do you recall?
No, I was just
What do you recall?
on the same time as the resolution 20.
You did.
The fumble.
Yeah, nobody, do you recall voting for 20,000 on the fire department?
Motion made, we can vote that way, specific to budget. My question is, my budget times, increase, the balls, and then the discussion.
Which was 5%.
That's, during budget. And they agreed to go to 7,500. So I was, that's what I'm making, the budget.
That's right.
Understood that we.
You record your board meeting?
Yeah.
If you will forward that footage, I will guarantee you that y'all said $20,000.
Yeah, I'm not disputing the $600,000, but I'm saying, without a doubt, in my mind, at no point were we able to vote for $20,000.
Well, I will. Yeah, I'm not trying to.
Well, the next question, I'll pull the finger back at you, is, when did the town become, we have to pay you this money? The way you're presenting this is something we owe you, like it's, and I'm just asking, because I don't understand the fire commission, so just help me out.
Y'all have a contract, that we provide fire service for the town every year.
Okay.
It re-ups every year, July 1. Okay. I have signed contract, the administrator signs contract, and y'all send us the check. I did in the last, when we went around this in May, that's when it happened, in May. It has not been updated since 1987. The fire department should have came before now, but I'm now the chief and I'm here to get what we need. Because obviously things have swung out and everything.
We got a contract this year for 10 minutes, right?
No, right now, we do not have to provide fire protection, I believe. Are we going to? Yes, because we're good people. However, if we call the Department of Insurance in the morning and say, I ain't providing fire protection for the town of Mobile, your insurance is on $9,000.
What you're saying, we don't pay this money, my neighbor's house is on fire, we're gonna have to spend on cross over.
No, I never said that. I'm talking about the town of Mobile specific, to give you an idea of how much hard work our volunteers put in to lower everyone's tax rate, then we come and want a little more money, and we don't get any now. Because that's why the people that work here left, they had to go to a call in town for an overdose. Their money, their vehicles, we just try to buy supplies and get what we can to help them.
Well, Phil, I think you're misread the room here. I don't think anybody is saying that they don't want to support the fire department. The problem that I have is verbiage that we have to support the fire department, just because I didn't know that. And I'm trying to understand, because from what I've been told, all the fire departments get money from the fire tax that we're all paying. So it's kind of interesting to me that you would have the ability as the fire chief of Newland to say, because I'm not getting whatever out of the town of Newland, then I'm not going to take fire calls in the town of Newland. That's a little bit sketchy and scary.
That's not pertaining to the town. That's just, per se, your all's insurance. That's how much it will go up if we drop our rate. We're not going to. We're going to help everybody. We always have and always will. This big slap in the face, and since 1949, we get a check every July, and now I get nothing. And we're working harder than we ever have.
And we lowered the fire tax rate in Newland as well as something else. It's saving every resident and every business over half on their fire tax, on their fire insurance. Right, Mr. McKee?
Let me ask you, is having that contract part of what helps us get a low rate?
Yes, you have to have a contract.
That's what we're saying is,
Right.
without the contract, so having a contract helps us get the low rate.
Yeah, I'll absolutely back it. I've dealt with this over in Banner Elk for clients of mine, and shockingly enough, just, the Lynn will take care of your rates lower than the Banner Elk. So no, once again, I think that you're misreading the room. I don't think anybody's trying to say no. I definitely know, I can tell you this, nobody in this room voted for $20,000. I know that.
Do we have minutes for that meeting we could look at? I think that's for what was approved.
So I did have to send over the minutes. There was nothing regarding the vote until the budget.
Which is what it is.
The budget mentioned $7,500. Right. And I needed something to tell me how much to check for. Which we wrote, you signed, the day he brought up $20,000 invoice. So we held the check since last, yeah. But yeah, we have this check ready, we held it because there was a dispute with $20,000. I don't like record of $20,000. I'll go back and look, and I'll listen to the minutes. I didn't listen to the audio. I just looked at the minutes that were approved by the board. The Navy Journal, Navy Journal is not the official record of the town.
Yeah.
And I'll say something sure. About 6 or 8 weeks ago, y'all called me to bring a fire truck and haul water to the tank up on Baton Rouge. I spent over a half a day on 14,000 gallons of water up there. I thought it was to wash out your storage tank. I didn't realize it was for consumption. Was there more water working out the office before that water was called?
I think I spoke to you, Cole, and you said, yes, we need to, that's definitely not potable water, is that correct?
That is
soon as I spoke with him,
That was a day later,
no, it was the day.
When I found out, I called the meeting.
it was one day later.
I texted you, call me immediately, because I found out you guys were running that water in the line. And I don't know if y'all realize, but that water is $7,500 water.
I got a noise on that. I live on Bayview.
This man, my house water is never.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
I don't wanna get into a bunch of things. I just want y'all to realize that when I'm told something, and then it doesn't happen, I get aggravated. Everyone here, I know y'all can relate to that.
I can definitely relate to that. A conversation you and I had when I became mayor, I discussed with you, and you astutely pointed out that you're the fire chief, and I was talking to one and the same, when I was talking to the maintenance director and the fire chief about getting the gutters. I think we've got, what, 100 feet clean so far?
No, we cleaned everything we could, because we couldn't clean anymore, because that day, we were having blood business farming. So after I got my first cousin, I said, look, guys, we're gonna rinse off everything we can. We can't go through there and blow that much gravel, fill the mud in the parking lot. When we can't get it all go down storm drains. So are you hiring, is my contract for fire protection, or is it for cleaning streets?
That was a, hey, can we get this done? And that was way back when you were actually in that position. I didn't know it was a tit for tat, to be real frank with you. You were saying you got upset when you were told that you were gonna do something, we were gonna do something. I'm saying that's kind of what we've been waiting for. I thought we were gonna get some gutters. I had no idea that you could get complaints about businesses. I don't care a bit to go ahead for those businesses to say, hey, we have to do this.
And it was voiced to town employees at the time we were working on it, and the time after we saw it.
You used to be in charge of some of those town employees. You know how much conversation those town employees have with anybody outside of where they work.
I can understand.
All right, so how do we resolve this and move forward? I guess we need to do some research. I do know it went to budget. I do know that y'all voted on $7,500. I know that. I'm not quite sure. He's convinced that we voted on $20,000. You did put a motion, but I thought that y'all picked the budget.
If I would have understood it that way, I wouldn't be. I would want to,
That's fine. Yeah.
but that's not what I.
And you keep referencing the cost of the water, that $7,500 is the cost. I thought that we gave you free.
Oh, I'm saying, if y'all would have had got that water hauled by a company, it would have cost me.
Okay. Would I email it to Anthony?
We should go to the meetings, right? And
You get more good. Anyone else? Did you know anything, Mr. Bailey, about this, contract between the town and the fire department?
I've seen contracts in the past, but not in the last couple of weeks. I've found contracts dating back about 10 years, and they were 5,000, 5,000, 5,000.
What's the most recent one we had?
It was two,
When was the last, what's the most recent?
I've got it 21. I can bring you that and email it or whatever, but I have last year's contract.
I'm not gonna make a motion to go ahead and get
I disagree, we have to dispute over how much it is. All in favor?
Yeah.
That's what we agreed on, that's what we did.
Any more questions? When are y'all going to talk about it, dispute, resolve, or anything like that?
She'll pull the audio tomorrow.
Do I have to say for this?
I'll be tomorrow, I'll check with you. But what I understand, you got a $7,500 check going into right now.
I'll get y'all last year, that contract that settled out, we covered y'all.
Yeah.
As far as spending. I don't know how the rules, regulations, and laws work, but I know you gotta have it.
It's one thing, if we don't budget in our budget ordinance, and it goes over it, then we've got to amend our budget ordinance, find it somewhere else and pull it over. Correct. And so if it's 7,500, and that's what the budget is, that's all we can do right now, is we go somewhere. So again, this is May.
Yeah, 23rd.
So May, hopefully, then we'll represent the fire department, state that, the budget's coming up, so in the contract with the fire department. The town of Newland gives $5,000 per year for fire support. In 2005, we started with insurance departments to lower the fire tax rate. They managed to lower the rate from a 9 to a 5, which is good for a rural area. 63% of the calls within the town limits are asking for $20,000. Elk Park at 10,000, Banner Elk at 60,000, Linwood at 350,000. James asked if when the fire department start washing the streets, told us that they haven't. The fire department will wash the streets for us if we have them. We just need to make list the streets they want washed, send it to Colby, and they will wash them. Then there's nothing else in there about a photo, whether it's 20,000 or anything else, than that. So these are the minutes that are approved and signed before, so. That was Mayor's signature. So there's nothing, I have to go back and listen to the actual audio to see what the vote or the motion was and what, okay.
Well, here's what I can say on the deal. I know these folks voted and set up on
In the budget.
Budget meeting.
I was told one thing.
Who told you one thing?
That's what I heard. I wasn't lying. I'm telling you.
No, that's
That's why I'm frustrated. I came well in advance.
So let me get this straight. You heard this board vote $20,000 for fire department. That's what you heard. And then you read it in the newspaper. Nobody up here recalls it like that. There's 5, 6.
Listen to your
We will.
minutes.
We will.
And it'll all work.
Call more, Bill will give them, we'll see.
I'm done.
But you know what, make more.
Next.
Next.
Delinquent taxes.
We'll go with the tax rate.
As a commission that have used to delinquent taxes over to mention the one in 500 Harbor. 500 there currently owes $79.41 and Harbor currently owes $22,772.
I'll make a motion to let the tax collector hand those over to the town attorney for foreclosure process.
Have a motion of a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I have a question on the tax list. What about all the rest of these? We got 7 pages of taxes. Why are we picking on these 2 people? Circa 2012, what's going on?
Those are just the highest ones, and the tax collector either sent letters to the rest of them.
So you're just sticking the town attorney on specific?
My question is, at what point do you?
Yeah, what's the threshold?
Threshold.
What's the threshold? I know we sent letters out in January. I know that
Yeah.
people's names were put,
People's names are put.
people's names have been put in the paper.
Yeah. So the question that we just need direction. Those are just very, very high numbers that we act on.
Okay, well, I was personally sued and taken to foreclosure court over $300. I'm looking at $595, $395, $282, $578, $761. What's the threshold? What's the cost?
Are you supposed to make payments?
No, I did take the ones out that are to make payments.
I think in the past, I'm not sure that was, I would say, we've always done it this way, because of the only. But in the past, I know we worked with people that come in late and monthly payments on the taxes. Still make no payments for taxes paid over here. several years.
Yeah, typically in my experience, we handle it administratively. If it meets a couple criteria, it doesn't exceed a certain amount and it doesn't exceed a number of years. So if they don't owe 1 year or 2 years of taxes, we handle it administratively. If they owe 3 or more years, then we go through the process to start collection.
So wait a minute, 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, if they owe 3 or 4 years of tax, if they owe 1 or 2, I mean,
At what point do you start threatening foreclosure?
well, we have to go through the process, and at the end of the process, foreclosure is the only other option left. It just kind of goes, but how do you get to the foreclosure window? And that's the question, how do you want to handle it? We can send them all to the attorney, or we can handle it all in-house, but at the time we have to go to foreclosure, they have to go to the attorney. So, in my opinion, these two are really high, we should just go ahead and start the process. They're a number of years old, and they're just a large amount of money. And they're not commenting to us, they're not calling us, they're not making any excuses or anything like that. So at that point, if we don't have somebody who's willing to play along, these smaller ones, we're fine with doing internally, but at what point do you want us to jump into these pockets? That's, I don't want to go through this, I just want a policy. We have very few policies.
What's the amount on this?
24 and approximately 2,479. Right.
Yeah, this is 24,000. Which is
There's
That's not what I.
This goes back to how many years since it was,
well, the one to 7,900.
this would be my suggestion. This is just a suggestion for the rest of the board. We said 2-year plan. This past 2-year plan. But not making any kind of arrangements for taking an effort in 2 years. Then that gives him something to work on for
Yeah, we'll send a letter, blanket letter, and we'll probably send another letter, just to try to get them to come in to talk to them. At what point do we take the legal action?
I don't understand the reason why we're allowing somebody 2 years to not have it back. I certainly wouldn't allow that to us. So why are we now?
Technically, we don't have to allow anyone.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
But, the wait times are increasing as we went through over the past 5 years.
Mr. McKinney, sure. Yeah, Mr. McKinney. So when it's turned over to you, what's your first step? A letter? Yes. And that falls under your monthly payment?
or hourly. Then that would fall, since it's right on there, that would be, I'd probably do a bulk thing, just to keep track of how much it for all of that.
At what point do you start billing the citizen?
I would bill the citizen for that.
For that?
Yeah.
So if the citizen came in and paid, would you still bill the citizen?
If I would bill the citizen, well,
So
that's
why
up to the board.
If you're being paid an hourly rate and you're being paid a monthly rate, why are you still billing the citizen?
I would well, that's a good point. I would not double bill.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah. But,
So
if they came in and paid, then, you could give me direction at what point you want me to.
Well, I'm trying to understand, if we're paying you an hourly rate.
Yeah.
But you'll sit down and do a couple of letters and send them out, so under hourly, we're paying for it. So I'm trying to understand why the citizen's going to be sent an additional bill in the form from this gentleman. You've already been paid.
I think what you're saying, what I'm used to is that any extra costs for a contractor like him would be added to the bill.
You just said,
In other words, we can get
for writing the letter, and it'll be on the bottom of their bill, and they'll have to pay.
The county gets reimbursed as a contractor for the enforcement action.
He's still getting paid, regardless of whether or not the
say we pay him, let's just say we pay him an hourly, you don't pay any other charge. If he works on letters for an hour, and it's 5 letters, then those 5 people have to share that time. We actually add that to the bottom of the tax. We get
So that's
reimbursed.
a tax bill.
Yeah, we get reimbursed.
So you'll send them another tax bill that shows that there's now attorney's fees.
When they come in to pay your taxes,
Yes.
that's in the total they got.
We're legally allowed to do that, to recoup the cost.
The town does that, right?
So we're still paying him, but we're getting reimbursed for what we paid him to do that work, because we wouldn't have paid him to do it if they were on.
Okay, so if they pay their
But only
taxes,
if he's a contractor.
right, so if they pay their taxes, it stops right there.
Correct.
So anything up to that point, that the attorney says he has in addition to, gets added to their next year's taxes.
Next year, this year's,
Well, when it.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay.
so if you hire a contract code enforcement, same thing. You know, if I'm your contract code enforcement officer, I go out and I do the minimum housing that we talked about earlier, and I say, here's my invoice, I spent 6 hours on this, I went to court, here's the filing fees, all that we added to that, in trust fund, or lien on the property. But you have the opportunity to recoup that because it's reason contract.
Sometimes that comes up, a lot of times that comes up with real estate closings and help. Person will think, well, I have this much in taxes, and then the lawyer calls down and says, well, they have in taxes, and this has gotten added on, and it gets paid in full before you can close your deal.
So the normal avenue is to do that.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right, so what are we doing? We're allowing people to be absconding from taxes for 2 years, or we want to tighten it up to 1 year, like all the rest of America does? What we're doing?
I don't know that you'll get economy of scale paid million to take heavy action in building the town. I think if they do stuff first, you may get more bang for your buck. I may be turning businesses like that. I think I'd rather,
Yeah, but
see the town trying.
the town tried, she sent letters, correct? You sent letters, and then you also put people's names in the thing, and then you had them show up, whatever, which is fascinating to me. Why was the end of the 1st of September, the magic date this year? They really started getting in trouble. What was that? 2021, so we're a year behind.
Everything's interesting.
Gotcha, I guess. All right, so the question is how many letters do we have the town clerk send out? I know what, I mean,
Okay, I want to set parameters. I'm gonna make a motion, please. Consider electronic taxes beyond 2 years, 1 day, or $2,000, whichever occurs first. That's the motion.
do we have a second? All in favor? So let me understand this. I don't have to pay my taxes for 2 years, right? 2 years and 1 day.
And you'll be charged with interest.
Right, but I don't have to pay my tax 2 years and 1
And
day.
there'll be a letter from her, and it'll be posted in the paper, and pay the interest and any other costs.
We can waive the attorney, we're going to the town clerk, or we're going to the attorney.
And I mean, again, you go beyond the parameter to go
It
immediately.
goes 30, and then I suppose.
I'll get your years, it's 2 years on, I'll save it. All right, moving forward.
Tag office.
Anybody know what that's about?
Yeah, the state changed the notary fee schedule, so.
Technically, we could charge fees for title, anywhere else you go, to get a, title, they're gonna charge you no fee tax. We do not do that. That's not in that. This is real. They're asking if we want to start charging for titles, we see here $317 for the $317 on July. May they did $299. This is the fee
those meetings, they can legally charge. What they're asking, and do you want to start charging anywhere else goes or make it, but it's completely up to y'all, whatever you want to do. With that.
Good way to bring in income to the day off.
Well, yeah, we all set the policy.
I'll make a motion, we adopt the notary fee for the day off.
Have a motion, we have a second?
One second. She wrote on the paper at $1, we would make $300. So just the title one. At
Well,
$1.
I think we said it's $7.
Gary has something, Gary.
Clark County, you go get a tag down there, it's $25, you pay it in cash. They don't pay a check, and it's not included in your registration.
Yeah, but that's for the notary, put in her pocket.
So how does the notary work on the town, you know? Instead of like in Clark County, they're like a separate entity dealing with town.
Yes, private checks, yeah.
We're gonna be subject to that next.
Yeah, we're gonna, I think we go there.
Yeah, we're catalog.
Yeah.
We got a motion and a second.
All those in favor? Yeah. Okay. All right.
Mr. Church,
Yes, I've got a question.
We've got an answer for you, kind of.
I hope so. I've got a water bill here. Back water bill for $300. I just paid one, got one for $600. The quarter was that week. I got it that week, this, and we adjusted that to $236, which is paid. And then I get a bill, another bill for $300 and something. And I get this. And they'll be bringing it back. But,
Give it to her, sir. Give her.
So this one is 404.53.
there's no way.
I think you smell it prettier than that if it doesn't have any fat.
Well, let me tell you one thing right now. No way. Nobody, you, nobody else can get water bill like that.
What is your address, sir?
Post office box 291,
No, your home.
what do you,
452 like that.
two White Drive? George, I mentioned this to the town administrator. Did y'all go out there today? Have we found some?
Well, that particular building, I think,
Did we go out there today?
staff. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. They went out to a couple of them.
Anybody been out there, I haven't seen.
They went out there today, Mr. Church. They're gonna be out there tomorrow, Gary, and take a look, and who handles the adjustments. And we also have a little interesting situation deal, and I talked about, somebody talked about, but it's out, it's down.
Yeah.
We've got some elevated water bills that are exponentially elevated. We have an outfit that's in town working, we don't say too much, but we're nefarious at best, so.
We talked to the chief about it, just to start some type of investigation. We've had kind of sporadic high water bills, just around town. Yeah, they just have to coincide with somebody coming into town, breaking into one of our meters and stealing water before we call it. So, it just, it's coincidence, I don't like coincidence, so, there's some kind of connection in there.
And there's several of these
Yeah.
gentlemen, ladies getting higher water bills.
Yeah, we've had like 4 of them here, and it's just a really strange.
It's not in the same area.
Somebody's waiting there to leave.
Well,
Well, somebody did, and we called them. And so they came in, and the long story, they came in, they paid the deposit, and we let them go, except the check came back. so their deposit balance. So we've gone back and locked that meter, but it's just coincidental that when they came into town, they broke into the meter was broken into, and we've had a series of 4 high water bills, just unusually high water.
It's like work he's supposed to do when he walks.
Yeah, and so it's just really strange, and most of these houses, they're either gentlemen like this, or they're not at home. And so it's just kind of weird. So we're just asking for a little bit of help on the investigative side to get to the impact. We don't know if there is now. It's just, I don't like coincidences, I don't believe in them, so that's the way I'm looking at it.
Well, we'll, somebody go get it.
Yeah, we'll
Tomorrow.
go out and double check that meter and make sure everything's fine.
We'll come in tomorrow, we'll do some adjustment on here. Yeah, that was really high, right?
I'm not very thinking your rates are chance every day anyway, so it's just all right.
Go ahead, Jim.
Sue and Kelly Johnson, they own 30 properties in Rockingham. Ms. Sue came to me and came about her water bill, and all I thought was that her consumption is usually low. And this previous month has been outrageous, she owes $1,400.
Wow. Wow.
Well, let me comment on that. We spent an hour out there, and that meter should have flowed the whole time we were there. The lady renting the place called the landlord. She said, she talked to me, asked me to hang around till the plumber got there. We stood there for 15 minutes. It was lunch hour. We came over here at 8, right back over there. The plumber was there. He said, there's no leak whatsoever, and flow was off the meter. And the only way we could get flow off the meter was to turn the valve off, was under the house. So when we got back over there was no flow, but there was flow for the whole 35 minutes we were there before, except when we turned the valve off and turned the valve back on. So I don't know what was going on there, but the plumber swore there was no leak anywhere. He checked everywhere.
Was it outfit or was it infit?
It was an individual. He must do all the work. She called him, said he was in another problem. But, I don't know what, I know when I reread it, the following Monday, it looked like it had went back on 6,000 over the weekend. That was Friday. The numbers I read on Monday, they do 6,000 gallons. So we'll see what this meter reading is, but that's just background on that guy.
George, you'll get with you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right, next up is office leasing agreements. And Bill wanted to get this resolved for water. Hey, here with that.
I guess I just want a general question, that I'm confused about what the parameters are of the leases. So that's the first thing. And then whether or not you guys want to go forward with continuing leases. We've got the Taylor tax lease for some reason was rewritten for a calendar year. So her lease is up at the end of like January. They were beginning of February instead of June or July. That should. So there's some confusion that went on the previous town administrators, just go to the new release, and then that's what the next she's got, leases, I go, as far as I go back, it's 2019 on that particular one. We've got leases going back 10 years, I've been able to find for various entities, attorneys, retail stores, of course, the D&D, has been here for, the highway patrol's here a long time. So I guess what I want is, one, what is the consensus board, you want to continue leasing? Two, if we do, we may want to consider, we're underpricing the market right here. And we may want to consider raising rates, just because it's bordering on unfair competition. And I don't want to.
This is not equal, correct?
As far as I can tell, every resolution I've ever seen is not.
That was, I was under the understanding we start this, right? Yeah.
When this thing first started, I was on the board, Jamie was just coming out there, so what would they do with 1 year? times for whatever, from town hall, and it was for a period of 1 year.
With an option for year two.
Yeah, but an option to do, so I said,
The resolution we have says absolutely nothing.
it's just back.
No stipulations we put in there or in the resolution.
That's, that was taking the start of this.
There's nothing stopping you from creating that atmosphere.
No, and
It's
there's
just that,
there was a provision that either party could cancel 30 days notice.
yeah, and that's in the lease, so it's a standard lease. And that's what we typically use, except in cases this is a land lease or, it's just a sudden, you just type out the lease, and basically mimic the standard lease minus a few legal fees. So, you know, the other thing too, if you're really looking at this as an incubator, which is a great idea, you might want to look at, 1 year plus 2 renewable years, so a max of 3. Because that's incentive for somebody to, get out from a place and, hold on to growing. And that's kind of typical in Boone's incubator, that's the way to do it there.
That's something I would get for, when we do this.
I think we have the resolution going on. What's the resolution I can do?
When we were there, I said, I felt like the town and municipalities should not be in competition with people that ask you to.
Well, we always have exceptions for that economic development aspect. So an incubator would be an economic development aspect. But again, if you limit the amount of time, and based on my research, it's been 1 year plus up to 2 years renewed, so that's 3 years total. And that gives the person incentive to, 1, succeed, and 2, find a place. It gives them cushion. Because a lot of businesses fail in the first year. If they don't fail, they struggle, they don't make profit. The second, third year, they start building.
According to this, the town administrator did approve the lease anyway. So why would he rewrite the lease?
There was something somewhere, maybe in the
You guys know
minutes,
why Garrett's did that?
where,
Garrett's was put out with kids down there, man, and throw rap.
The March 5th, the mayor authorized the lease and rental of the property that the town people described above.
yeah,
Is that the 2019 resolution?
That is,
I can answer the question about Garrett's. I don't know.
yeah, I'm not sure, there was something I read somewhere in all this research that it is the same person they're renewing, the town administrator. There's nothing changed except for the time.
I have that.
That's what we have.
There's, I'm not here to have a fight. I just need to know,
Yeah.
because I can't get out in the middle of February, obviously, with income tax. I have to get out in the summertime, and there's things I'd like to purchase, but I'm not gonna be here. We just need it fixed, so I got some papers together. I was in business 10 years in Carmel, so I didn't need a leg up, so to start.
That's not why you rented. You saw it.
No, I didn't need, I rented it because it became available, on the newspaper advertised
How was it advertised? Was it advertised as
for rent,
for rent?
Office
Just, it wasn't,
for rent.
if you're a small business trying to get started,
No.
just for rent.
office for rent. And then I pulled out some of the old minutes, and, it gave Keith Pullman, we talked about where he had, taken them to pay his taxes. And then it says, also another minute, I have on this, I don't want to read it, that, y'all voted to give him the right to renew the lease at his discretion every year, as long as it was the same tenant. But obviously, Keith isn't here, so I don't.
All right, so let's have some discussion. What's the general consensus? Gail, what's your thoughts? Well, I think the question is, what she's trying to resolve is, this becomes a point of contention since the car started. So I think she's trying to find out, okay, is she gonna be able to rent this? And I understand what she's saying, she has seasons, she's running business, so she's asking, okay, are y'all intending on not doing this anymore? If that's the case, she's gonna go ahead and start looking for somewhere else. And we'll, hopefully set a date tonight, we're going for this date, you pay your rent. Be nice to everybody while you're here, whatever. Or are we interested in upping the rent, like Phil said, because we are not. And I will say, as business owner, I would live it if the town was undercutting, what I could be renting off. So, I agree with what he's saying there.
It just to kind of get both sides. I mean, this does offset some of the costs of renting them home. So, you know, it's, if we decide, if you decide to stop doing, you know, it's over, you know, those costs are gonna come from somewhere. So they're gonna come back from the general fund, and we'll, or just a small lifestyle, whatever. You know, some adjustments have to be made.
You know, we really technically have to, we could offer it with the
So if we kick him out, we got, you know, we got the two that are rented now, for DOE. Okay, so we got hers. So we have leases for the two offices in front with the state, and then we've got this lease.
I think we should wait, so it's really what we have in that.
Just get out of the rental business, what's your thought process? And Shelby's indicated to me in the bill that she doesn't mind paying the rent, that's not, what's your,
The title signature was in this one, everybody else above that.
Well, my opinion is, I thought it was supposed to be needed. And I think that, you know, it's all well and fine, but also, you know, and I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, is, you know, I remember him saying it was the office there between 8 and 4:30. I remember that being 8 months. And I'm not totally against re-upping it, but I think we need to keep the office hours for what town is being closed on the same holiday, being, you know, no weekend hours or whatever. Because, I mean, you know, we do keep funding in here. There is money in here, so. And I understand, you know, it could, it's highly unlikely, but still, but that's just my business.
And talking with Rick today, that that's one city, several people that went all over the place. He says we're undercutting yourself. He says we got the minimum wage for $6 a month, with not 6 weeks. With the amenities that are provided. Heat, air conditioning, and water and sewer, bills and taxes on that. There is no expense stuff, parking out here. We're very limited on parking here in town. Very limited. We have customers during the day, that's other customers that can't get here. This realtor, he says on his commercial spaces that he uses, part of the thing is, he requires an instant cost. Because as a landlord, with him, I'm not worse. Should there be an accident here, landlord is responsible. Well, yeah, unless there's a separate insurance policy on your roof. So that should be, that's one of his requirements. So that's a lot of things we need to look at in this stuff. I know, in fact, he has, lost a client, moved out of one of his other places, and moved to it, get in notice, and moved out. He said, how you doing? I said, I'm cheaper, and get all this for free, you know? He said, I don't blame him for leaving. He said, I was losing business. He said, at that time, he said, I sent what I consider, he said, a small letter to the town. At the time, this was a few years ago, he said, well, I don't lose this business, and so, with the town, knock off my taxes on that one, this property, for the money you make off.
We've never seen it.
Yeah. But, my discussion with you, that, said, if I was renting that thing as a business, so I'm trying to change it.
Okay, sounds like we're open to working with Ms. Shelley. She's willing to work on our grant. I think the next step would be some comments. I don't think I was just going to have time personally, but I don't know what you've done with it. I've got a huge shot for $1,000.
Yeah, I can look at similar spaces that I'm having. It's actually cost per square foot.
That includes the amenities.
That includes no water bill, no sewer bill, like the only thing,
Well, I'll do comps. So it'll be the square footage, I'll get price per square foot. We can relate to this with property utilities. You know, building renter owners, landlords are gonna know these costs. So I'll talk to a couple of good residents in town and see what they, property managers, and see what they have.
strictly the realtor's rate, and so comparable things, so, students get more places, because they got parking, it's not like they're here, you know, there is no parking. But he said, he gets $450 a month, but they're responsible for their own water and sewer, and they're responsible for their electricity, and they have to have an insurance policy on file.
Can you do your business during business hours?
It's hard. Now, I don't have clients, and Steve and I talked about this, and really, Bill is new, we haven't talked about it. You know, when I came here, Steve left, and so there's not been a lot of time there's been someone to even go to. But, you know, I talked to Keith, I said, Keith, you know, if I have to stay over, can I stay over? And when I first came, I thought I could. My business is booming. Obviously trying to keep health. So, you know, there's no win, like, I didn't ask the price. Keith said $275.
So you're fine.
You know,
Just
there's,
defend yourself.
you know, I know I don't have to, I'm just saying, you know, he said, you know, there's no windows, you just got one triangle office, you know.
You got new carpet.
And I got new carpet, I paid for having my walls painted, so it looks nice in there. But, you know, really, I wouldn't mind to pay more, and I definitely would pay more if y'all just say, okay, you know, no price, but if I can work over.
Can I ask the question though, why is everybody against, why is everybody so hard on the 8
The janitor comes in when I'm here, she comes in all times of the day,
Oh.
2 days a week, so.
Well, somebody explain to me why we're so hard on the 4:30.
All of our members want, and the police are here. I'm not sure on that. I think I read that somewhere, it was in,
No, it's these folks that are hard on. I'm trying to understand from the board, why are we so hard on the 4:30 for a person who's paying us rent to, in a building that's secure?
It doesn't matter.
You don't care?
No.
Okay. For a building that's, you know, the police are 12 feet away and we have cameras that are 24/7, so you don't care, do you care? Why do you care, just out of curiosity? Nice. Why do you care? Why so hard on that?
Because I think it is bigger business operation, because for some of the renters deciding to have baby showers in here on Saturday. They decide to have wedding showers in here on Saturday, and just want the public place to do that.
It's a municipal building, with a municipal building. County. The only thing they have up there is state money that they have. They don't rent it, but they have understands the state offices and stuff. They're not the devil business, it's for security of the building. If you open the door to that, you like to use it.
Mike?
I ask that you please let her go play because she does not have to work, and there's a lot So, you know, it's not like there's people running that kind of house, or there's a lot of people either. The only time I was thinking was just her and I one-on-one, where I had time to say it and kind of where my text. So it is very good for some of us.
But that is exception. I was gonna keep kids at 4:30, I'm almost finished, you know, I'm finishing up. But in my, she wasn't exception, you know, we get the base on, but I do as a rule. You know, I'm coming on Saturday, maybe, but, or after 4:30, no clients. And if you want to make an exception, that's fine, but, you know, I try not to.
Okay,
How many years have you been with us, Michelle?
I moved here in 2019,
We do.
I've been out on my own, I was, I'm over 10 years, so.
And I mean, and like the rest of them here, I remember this being started as an incubator. And what that was for is to take the business in and grow it to where it goes, a spot in town. To help build the town business.
I understand what you said, but I never heard that.
I understand.
that wasn't, that wasn't the ad you
I
responded to.
would never have moved here.
That wasn't the ad you responded to.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, once I moved here, you know, I let my office go,
Yeah,
so there's no going back. And now I have to find another one, or go home and remodel my house or whatever, or retire, you know, whatever.
She says that's not the action. That's, it's, we got this whole.
I feel like we have three folks that are amenable to working with Shelby to allow her to stay. I think the sticking point is 8 to 4:30, which I personally, as a small business owner, think is ludicrous. I think that this government is forgetting why the government is here, which is for the small business and for the citizens. And Ms. Shelby is here until 6 o'clock trying to finish up her work. She's not like government employees that have the luxury of going home at 4:30, so they can be there to watch the 5 o'clock news. That's my take on it. So we have three folks right now that are paying employees, keeping her here, raising her rent, or allowing her to stay if she wants to.
Well, I would like to say, at least another tax season, it's hard to get revision based with it.
Okay, well, how about us tonight? How about us, can I get a motion from somebody, allow her to stay until June, that's to get you through your tax season, correct?
Correct.
And let's allow Bill to negotiate her rate up. You can do that for us within next month. If you don't mind shifting gears and paying more rent, I think that's important. Okay?
I just got through my tax return.
No.
I'm just kidding.
It's business.
Thanks.
But she just sent her business.
It's gonna start for, come on.
The current lease is January.
I think we need to write new lease correctly, one that's not haphazard and full of emotion, because that's what happened in the last one. So I suggest, it's okay with everybody in this motion, we ask Bill to write a new lease, give it to June 1, whatever that,
June 3 is the way.
June 30 is tradition, that's the tradition. And then let's raise the rate before she signs it. And maybe email it out to all the board members that get email and
I'll email, I'll do the research, I'll email you the folks on, email you copies of these, filled out and outside, and then all of this.
All right, I have a motion, can I have a motion, please, that we work with Ms. Shelby on this one space, so Mr. Bailey go and get comps, raise the rent, and move to June 30th as traditional, and then let you guys know via email and move forward. Motion. You're gonna work within the hours. How many people on the board are stuck on that?
I know how far it is. as a person who works, 8 to 4:30.
Oh, it's, yeah.
It's
That's
hard
not,
for me to get.
it's ludicrous, and that's a requirement.
Right, it's such a short season, you got 4 months.
Yeah, me too. I completely agree.
It's less
If you don't have
than-
access to your work, I mean, that's kind of, you know, because nobody else in town that you go out, you know, how you gonna do, how you gonna do comps on somebody and say, you know, is there anywhere out in town that a private person says, well, you don't get it, 425.
Did you ever have problems since she's been here, or what, like that?
No, we have cameras, it makes no sense. Jimmy would go to the house and see my monitor and ponder this. So you're saying you're whispering, we've got 3 that are against it, correct? These 3. So we have, well, the reason I'm bringing this up is that we're having a lot of situations here where it's not getting into the minutes. So she's saying we have 3. Are you agreeing with her? She wants to stay hard from 8 to 4:30? 4:30. You do? Yeah, I think the rent should stay, what? That's true too.
Or another individual.
You have a government job, which means you can show up and not do a good job, still have your job, but you're gonna be able to go to work from 8 to 4:30 and you get to home. She is a private business owner, which is tantamount to a very difficult thing. She's built for business. I don't understand why. And going back to what Mr. Nelson said, if we had any problems, if anybody here had a problem, I mean, has the candy machine been robbed? Has the skeleton been stolen? I just don't understand why Mr. Johnson here with last. The liability doesn't change. Does the liability change? The insurance policy still runs after 4:30, unless it shuts down the government.
There should be no here, so.
But, you know, the idea of having separate renters insurance, it's kind of an additional safeguard. And I'll talk to our insurance agent.
Okay, well then, how about this? Let's let it go as it was, raise her rent until the June 30th. I think that she will leave on her own, because this is not this is what I call a positive market. So, you all agree with that? Raise her rent, allow her to keep moving along like she is.
Of course, my old contract says till February, so 275 till February and raise it till June, is that what you're saying?
I think that would be fair.
I have a motion. Or, that's it.
What was that motion?
To let her stay and, like she's been doing.
As is until February. And go to the end of June, raise the rent in June, and she goes in June.
If we can extend her to June, she's gonna have to go ahead and move. I mean, she's been up and moving in February at the height of.
Right.
Is leaving in June your intention?
No, she wants, she wants to stay.
No, I've never, I came with the intention that it was rented, I would be here till I was tired. No one told me that it was a short-lived stay.
You understand what we're saying? We were told that it was an incubator.
By who,
The former town administrator.
picked up that.
No,
No,
Keith. Which Keith is doing this because he's trying to get every posting here. I mean, you have to understand, it's underhanded government stuff.
I understand, but when I came there too often, there's the every post had,
That's our, so we were just noticing. And then at that time, former town clerk rented it. Other than that, we said that.
needs to be rewritten for everybody understands, because they told us it was part of the thing. He stood right here and told us.
You can keep saying how you want, Jamie, but she read the ad in the paper.
Okay, and so did the fire department read the ad in the paper, but that's not the official stuff.
But the ad in the paper is in fact something, Gerald, correct me if I'm wrong, it's an ad in the paper, you have to be, you're held to what's in the ad.
Well, if the lease gets signed,
Yeah.
it's the terms you enter into the lease.
And there's no point in her.
If the lease doesn't say, you know, it doesn't say it can be renewed, you know, I don't know what the term of the lease, but, you know, it may have been only 2 renewals you got, or 1 renewal was all you need.
The board made a resolution that they were 2 offices that were being, it was junk rooms, they decided they would rent them. And then Keith got my lease, my lease went from July 1st, August, I look back, I paid it in August, August to August. Per usual, nothing, sometimes doesn't get to them, sometimes stuff doesn't get done around here. So after my first year, nothing, there was no lease. I mean, there was no lease. That's the truth. And then I got to hearing rumors and whatnot, and I thought, man, you know. So Jeremy thinks he's helping me, which I appreciate, but it was January 31st. So he says, I'm gonna fix your lease and put this question to bed, that was his verbiage. So he does a lease from January 31st to February 1st, which, I do income taxes. I can't move out in the middle of income taxes. So that's why I told Mr. Bailey, we need, you know, I really didn't want to get into this, but we need to make a decision, because I can't be getting out in the middle of February.
And nobody wants you to have to get up there.
That's great, I appreciate that. So, you know, and it's already October. If I can stay here, if y'all want me gone, I can stay here till the next end of June. If we don't work something out, that gives me some time. You can't go find an office, get remodeled houses, your garage, trying to build an office when it's almost Christmas.
Yeah, I agree with that. How about we just table this and let everybody think about it? And you go on, until the next meeting, because you have a signed lease, it's legal until February or whatever it is. And is that not the best idea, you think, Mr. Ross, administrator?
Well, the problem is, I have things I have to do to get ready for tax season. When you table stuff, I mean, I know it's not about me, it's just hard, you can't plan.
I actually asked her to go to this next one, to give everybody opportunity to talk.
Yes.
And she is so panicked about it, she said, I want to get this over with, they want me out of here, I need to know it. So that's why we're here.
And y'all y'all are smart people, you understand that.
Go ahead,
Can I
Joe.
just make a suggestion? Maybe we can do a motion to let her stay in June for 1 or 2 days, nothing else in it, but, and discuss all, bring back November, potential rent rate, all emails, everybody and all that. If you guys are okay with it, we'll send the contract through the end of June. That would give her, if you make that motion, I'll give her some peace of mind. Then in November, we can have this other broader discussion about hours, about, you know, even doing it all. You'll have more information.
Keep them ready. Obviously, it's complete, but till February,
Because the sun,
get it the same.
It would go up in March,
yeah,
if you agree to this, the rent would to whatever you guys agree to in March, April, May, and June would be the different rent.
and then if she does decide to stay, then it's legal in June, July 1 through June the 3rd.
Yes. We get right back on to the normal calendar.
We're back to my original request. Sure. Can I get a second on that?
The only motion.
We had my motion,
I made
we
a
had,
motion.
we had the
And I
original.
second it.
And all those in favor say aye.
Well,
Now, the attorney, you can go in on my phone.
That's good.
I'll have it.
Oh, I thought that was just like.
Does everybody get a copy of the minutes first?
No, nobody's scratching me.
I didn't get a copy of it. Just to get it out, and need more money, just to get it out, and need more money.
Money, money, will get it from problem.
I will get some mics from off you.
I tell you.
So I'll just quickly kind of go through. So there was a special meeting that you guys called. We came in here and talked about, referendum, and then you all went off to the RV park. What is it now? Is it called now? Okay, it's not on the contract.
Well, it's gonna be changed, and that's gonna be changed.
So, so this contract comes from that special meeting at the RV park. Where,
Kenny?
yes. So that's what, and I've had a discussion with Mike, I've had a discussion with Butch, and this is a result of that discussion. It's been in the minutes, as Kenny and I talked about them, so, I guess you guys approved them, right? Or you approved them, or you approved them. So,
At the end of this meeting that we had, I don't know.
yeah.
We just passed, we made the motion, we seconded it.
Yes, and so that's what's reflected in the minutes from the special meeting, which is on the front of that one. You know,
So,
I have a minute.
from what I understand, y'all reached this agreement already.
We agreed to this point, where if we work out, we do this.
Is correct?
So this is the finished product, right?
No, it's not.
No, this is for the
This is for
discussion,
discussion.
not for decision.
This is for discussion.
This is for discussion, you guys need to look at this, you've just seen it. So you need to look at it, and if now it's time to ask questions, and then we'll come back next month with the actual, whatever you guys agree to, and get it signed and on the way. And then we'll, you know, at that point, right, have budget amendment, and discuss that when it comes time, so we'll be prepared for that.
Is there a, certain amount of months we can hold at your property?
No, that would be wrong.
Just have to be noticed.
If, and here's my thing, I don't have a problem, and I'll keep you notified if we're gonna have something. I'll notify you as soon as we plan it, I'll let you know. But other than that, I don't care if you use it. I mean, I'm gonna try to have.
But the only time that the town makes money is on the events that we bring. We're not going to be making money on Big Mike's RV when you have a redneck code.
I mean, you say I'm a resident.
But that's, you know,
That's a favorite word, Mike.
so we need to understand, Ms. Gail, the only thing that now we're making money off is stuff the town's involved in. If the chamber is involved, the town's involved, if whoever is.
We arranged it.
Right.
And we'll coordinate calendars with him. But if we arrange something out there, the net proceeds are 50/50 split. Until we get to the 32,000, and if there's any interest that you want to hold.
What happens on 30,000?
The 32,000 is what we're loaning to do this project, and then he's reimbursing us with this cost, which is laid out in this.
Are you trying to say that it's
No,
$30,000?
I'm saying that from now on until the town places are in.
We're making money, yeah.
Yeah, this is a 50-50 thing.
Okay.
This is no money, I mean, I don't need more money from that.
Perpetuity.
Yes,
Which is why I thought we need to have the discussion.
Right, I mean, this is as much for the town as it is.
Yeah, Mike is genuinely trying to do something positive for the town.
And,
well, and this falls under economic development. So, you know, this is something you can do under that umbrella. You know, normally you can't loan money to the private enterprise, because this is economic development, we're a part of it.
that's what I'm saying, and, you know, and 50-50 is perfectly fine, but I know there's one of these trash picked up, one of these clean up, and there's gracefully so that, you know, that's, I'm out to try to help the town, and let's work together.
Mike, you know, I'm gonna suggest this, once we finally start getting into the nuts and bolts, because this is probably the most plain Jane boring contract I've ever seen. I mean, I think it should stipulate that if you keep saying 50/50, you meant $10,000, I think the park should pay for the services that we needed. For instance, if we had to get porta johns out there, that comes out of that, then the money that's left is what's.
Yes, I mean, that's easy, yeah, that goes without saying.
Because Netflix, yeah, that's all.
We don't spend our
Ask Jamie, give us one.
Yeah.
All you orders that, Jamie, you need.
So when I see that term, net profit, that's deducting
All costs.
Yeah.
Whatever costs we incur there.
We're gonna have to set, I'm gonna suggest we have a second contact. You're unhealthy, you're older, you take care of yourself, got only one person we can contact, you kill over, who we supposed to call? Jackson, we need that put in here.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's, she'll be the manager of it, so.
Those are some things that I'm gonna throw out, that I think need to be added. For signage, we talked about signage today. I know you're agreeable with signage, but I want it in the paperwork, so we all understand what's going on, so.
Yes, and I really think we need to put the town and you symbol, like, not off of one side, let's just put it in the center on the back. Because it's representing the town.
And the town should pay for that.
Well, I mean,
They have a nice sandblasted town seal and governor doing.
Any comments, if you want to get them back to me, I'll collect them and go.
That's what, yeah.
Zero.
Yeah, those of us that will email, send you an email, and you can do them all.
The only question I have is on bullet from before, is it basically that we're gonna knock off whatever water sewer was used for that event, for that weekend?
That's the way I read it.
Wait, that's why you read it.
Yes.
but here's what we need to do that to be fair and honest. Is I think the town can kind of regulate and keep track of how much water we use on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And just whatever the difference is from what I regularly, I'm not saying cut my water sewer. I'm saying whatever I use above average, we just knock it back.
For now, I mean,
Right.
that's where, and
I would suggest this, if you know, not been there, just, if you have time, go over there to this place, look at what he's done. They're looking at it today, there, the declarations that he's putting out. How many hundreds you go over there?
$4,000.
There's hay bales, there's mums, there's pumpkins, there's stuff everywhere. It's one of the nicest little places that you see. We've had all these negative things over, a lot of them that we didn't want this out here. We don't want this out here. But I think if we all go look at it, you'll appreciate what you see.
for the sake of time, if you could email us all that, and we'll put it through.
Just all that, just put all that.
Yeah, I mean, if you have anything you wanted added in it, just give it to you, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, email me.
I mean,
Well, I was having a hard time understanding that one part of that. All right, is it that when we recoup our original $32,000 contribution, at that point, we renegotiate?
Now,
Am I not adding it or?
leave it,
That's the way I read it.
That's the way it reads.
okay.
That's what I was taking me a while to figure out what.
Just leave it the way it is, because here's the thing. If we're in partners for the first time in the past, let's be in partners. I mean, if it works the way it's thrown up now, why not leave it there? Like I said, that's.
Don't renegotiate.
No, just
Yeah.
leave it that way, and because here's my thing, that's not my main source of income. Period, that's just something that we can put together, like on the Fourth of
I
July.
think we ought to we need to put a term on. Yeah.
That's coming out.
Right, at the end of it,
Agreement.
may be renewed from time to time, then. For 5 years revisit. Yeah. And, when you complete construction of the amphitheater, whenever reasonable, if you're front burden to your hand, I'm a little concerned about what lawyers don't like reasonable. Yeah, well, it's in the house be over. You're gonna have it up for December, correct?
I'm on this. I'm fixing to, I've been pushing to get this building finished, and as of today, the building's finished. All the bills up, all the work stuff.
We're talking about coffee shop.
Yes, they're bringing all the coffee shop equipment in tomorrow.
I think the county inspector will come back out and look at one meeting. Yeah.
Cause it's,
Kinda low.
cause it's short view. But it's a very nice work.
It works fine.
Yeah, I'm sure enough.
It's not hard for me or you.
I could have a problem.
Yeah.
Well, Gerald will have a problem.
It works.
We probably couldn't go there and see it, that it's
If it works for town, this is not, the way I see it. It's time to bring in this stuff, because I'm out there, based over there, I'm renting space we have right now. So I can, and I see people walk from there, going to Riverwalk, going to caves, they can get places, they're going to places, I'm listening to the other campers that are out there with, and, I think it's a good thing for the town, that we'll bring stuff on. Plus, well, we don't want to go along with it, we'll just do it yourself, and then we'll have to pay him more to use it.
You know
Well,
what
spectacular, Tim. Yes, spectacular. I think you should make it between 8 and 4:30. One time we can use, let's see, 4 and 8:30. All right, street lights, so we're gonna do that separate. Paving contract. Okay, here's the deal with the paving contract, right, everybody's attention?
Yeah.
Paving contract, initially, what you guys voted for, $16,853. So it jumped up to $45,427.80. Here's a couple of quagmires. The town finance officer and town administrator wanted to pay the payments, and I had a conversation with them, vehemently disagreed with these small businesses and paid. There is a mechanism for us to pay out of general fund and then pay the general fund back with the power plants. Is that all still correct in our conversation?
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, we got, that's what Calvin loan is for. But we only get 2 payments. So we got the first one, next one, until the end of the year. So, we don't have that Calvin money to use.
So what I need is a motion, please, to pay Mike Nelson Paving his invoice, out of the general fund and allow the finance officer to replenish the power fund.
We actually have a line item. It's got money in it. It's just, my concern is, you all agree to 16,000, and we have a bit.
Are you done with all these money?
We want that.
Right.
You still do it, Mark? You still got some to do? You do.
Well, we have to.
Yeah, they got
This is not-
Money ran out.
Well, we went beyond contract. Once I realized we're beyond contract, I wrote.
Yeah, okay.
And if we don't actually have a contract with 17 for certain now. We went out as staff, and we marked, there's a bunch more areas that really need to be done. But when that came in,
Listen, after we agreed to the pay process, we got off the table, there's a discussion that has to be had about what happened. So can I please have a motion first to allow the town administrator and finance officer to pay out of whatever fund Mr. Nelson's current bill, and then pay back the power bill. Can I get a motion, Ms. Gibbs? Can I get a second? All those in favor say aye. Right now, I'd like to discuss $16,000 bid to,
So, and obviously, we'll take a call for this.
just check more in.
Yeah, we'll take care of that one. We're close now. So as I came on, my handle on a lot of stuff, and so I'm still a little bit tenuous, so this is not something I was watching. You also have a new public works director, so he's focused on, we had several emergencies that get done, so that wasn't a big focus. What we think happened is some of the staff was, oh, yeah, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And the mindset was, we have to dump our line on it for this purpose. So we got $60,000 spent, not understanding we had a $16,000, essentially a contract with the board. So we weren't, I was not paying attention to what was going on here until I got out of control. And really, it kind of drew my attention when we paved the whole street, and when I saw the contract, so there's no whole street in there. So that's where, it's like, ooh, what happened here? I don't know. And we start looking at it, like, oh, that's okay. So I don't have good reason for why this happened. If that's the excuse I have for you, it won't happen again. I'll have a lot more control on it. But that's where we are.
Are you talking about Daniel Street, when I called you, raised hand about in a while, $165 pothole repairs with $9,000?
Yeah, full page street. And I didn't know that was going on at all. That's just not a place I went to until we went to the apartment. Right next door, which had sewer line.
Who ordered that done?
Nobody ordered that, as far as I can tell. I mean, you can check with him and see, but, it was not in great shape.
Who told you to pay Daniel Street, Mike?
Yeah. But, and here's the thing, if you go back and look at the meeting before that, when I was at work, he was actually, he sat right there. And we was talking about the 16 hours and how I was saying, you're gonna patch and piece this together. And where I stopped paving and patching, but the next year, you've got more holes there. Cause the road's busted all the way across. I mean, the street, you just need $2 or $3 million to repave this there. And every year you get the same thing. Patch this there, and when water and salt runs in them, I mean, the reason push, you go.
I'll tell you, like I was told Michelle, I'm not saying that you did anything wrong, Michelle did anything wrong.
Right.
The problem that I have is we have 16,000 some change contract with you, and let's talk about Daniel Street, which is not a highly traveled street. And then you pull out there and the entire road street has been freshly paved, and I can think of, if you took that distance, there's a lot of other places that could have used it. So that's mismanagement. I appreciate Mr. Bailey, I think, going, the old Japanese trip, falling on the sword on this. I appreciate that. But my point is, as the mayor and the small business owner, this is ludicrous. Going to what you said, there's money in it, and what you said, there's money in it. That's not how this works, folks. And Mr. Caraway is the ardent defender of, we're trying to protect the townspeople's money. This ain't protecting the townspeople's money. This is ridiculous and ludicrous. We have spent $45,000 in areas that we did not need paved. We did not need to fully pave Daniel Street. It's not a shot at Mike Nelson. You did what you were told to do.
So just to be aware, most of this is done right now.
I'm 100%.
So just so I'm aware, Mike disappeared, we never knew where he went, we couldn't find him, we couldn't get him any work. Just saying. Okay, but no, he got busy on some other stuff,
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot he did after I got here. I mean, it's not that he didn't do anything, there just wasn't a lot he did after. Most of this is done part of it. So, as like I say, I noticed on the street page, I thought, how do you pick up the street? I go back and I'm on to the compensation, but I hired, when I heard, I don't remember hearing that, but okay. And so I started looking into what was going on, and then we had a conversation about the contract. So, it's, I think, again, staff and a better understanding, they see a line item in the budget, that's part of the thinking went, but that's, again, on me, that's driving me on target. Yeah,
And I appreciate you, saying that.
It's, we bought asphalt,
Yes,
we paid for it,
yes.
that's money out of it. What's done, what's done.
well, and we're gonna pay them, but you guys agreed to that, and we're not disputing. We're just disputing how we got here. It's not his fault.
This you text,
Yeah, it's not his fault, it's
But in my defense, I did cut the wheel.
Yeah, Mike called me and said,
Oh,
dude,
no.
I'm gonna reduce this, I should be at 50-something, I'm gonna come in down at 45.
It should have been 54,000, and there was screws like the White Street, that whole water tap was made. I paid all that out of my pocket. I paid, where your shop is, I paid that. But where the water line was put in across the parking lot,
Mike,
I know, but I mean, I just want you to know that I was good, because
you got to know when to hold them.
the finance manager was, on it pretty hard. She said, look, you gotta save me money.
she does that to me.
She wasn't letting up, she said, you gotta leave me money.
Yeah, so again, we've got a little bit of cushion left, we've got enough money to pay in, agreed to pay, we'll come and check more. We'll reimburse part of that immediately, and then we'll reimburse it later, but we've got a lot of work to do to take care of that. Again, this will not happen again.
Scott. Thank you.
Thank you.
There, you're blessed. You're done.
I believe.
Okay. All right, motion to mowing.
Well, I feel like it's
Gary,
Cody.
Bill, can we say this out loud, Gary, here?
Yes.
That no one, you ultimately should have the ability to do what just happened. At no point should any county employee be telling a contractor for us, don't worry about it, we got $60,000 in mind.
Yes,
That's not how this works.
and we've had that discussion. Okay, this is not a discussion that should have to happen again.
We passed.
Yeah.
All right, motion to mow is the same thing, and this is near and dear to my heart, of course. We explored it because we were getting a $4,500 bill for mulch. Nobody knows where the mulch went. Gary, have you found out where this mulch went? Have you been out there to see where this $4,500 worth of mulch went? Okay. So in our mow contract with Mr. Smith, he is supposed to be taken care of as part of the bill.
Yes, so it's mowing, mulching one time, and then take care of the sidewalks.
It's all part of the original 20,
So curb and gutter, didn't we, knock down
And
sidewalks?
nothing saying to back up or anything.
Gary's done sidewalks, he's had to go out there and do sidewalks, he's had to go out there and side of the road. He's got a little bit more to do, he's had some issues that he's got to take care of, holes in the ground, the gas line and stuff, but, you know, so he still has that on the list, to take care of some of these things, knock down, but when I saw the contract, I thought, why is it contract to the sidewalk? And then what does mulch mean? So we couldn't figure out what mulch means, so Gary, you're gonna have to go out and look, because he knows what mulch is like. I didn't know if it included the little box, we have a front, included, things in the right of way out here, I just don't know, the contract's not clear enough to really tell me that.
So, it's in the contract, the mulch is included, but they send a separate bill, what you're saying, $3,500 to include the mulch?
Yeah, so according to the proposal that you guys adopted and accepted the contract, he does weekly mowing at a number of places. It doesn't include any of the roadsides. He does bi-weekly mowings at the wells, the different water tanks, all over four water tanks. Does monthly mowing at a couple other water tanks, the town side streets. Okay, and then, mowing, collection fallout, weed eating areas as needed. Okay. So power mowing, power weeding, power pruning, weed control, as needed in all shrub beds, sidewalks, and roads by chemical, manual, or mechanical means. And that's the one that got me, within the water weeding, pain trying to do it. Spring and fall cleanups, so that's leaves and, that sort of thing. like,
Would gutters
Turning
fall
it
in
in.
spring and fall fence? I think gutters fall in spring and fall.
but it says specifically include leaf cleanup as needed and turning all beds and cleaning up small ones. And then mulch installation, this is it. Triple dark ground hardwood mulch or better to be completed one time annually, March, April timeframe, on all existing beds and areas that are currently mulched. I don't know what those are, that's what the line staff to figure that out. Fertilization and enclosure, because, clean up of sidewalks, again, sidewalks. Clean debris of sidewalks, roads, shrub beds, and then blow all areas. So that's in the,
Does it say anywhere that they can charge extra for mulch?
no, part of the contract, you have a set price for the mulch, and that'll change every year. But I just, just dawned on me, it's like, this is something I didn't have, and then all of a sudden it shows up in my hand, I'm like, well, we aren't doing it, we aren't monitoring this contract.
If you get a hold of him and tell him that invoice is not valid as part of that contract, it's
And then at some point, if you need
Yeah.
help with this, we need to refund because he's not, this is an argument that Gary and I had over Roundup. And since he's not done it all, I think we need to go back to him for a refund, some sort. If that was supposed to be done, it's not been done.
Well, he's had to go back and do all that work.
I can put him in about it.
Yeah, you're yelling.
Yeah, if he gets on it, tell him.
But it's this round, so you need to be aware of what's going on, that, we need direction to take care of it. I think I need that,
Okay.
Okay.
you take care of it.
Yes, sir.
Does anybody have, Bill, you have anything to add or take away? Christie? Warren? Kenny?
It's not a verbal motion or anything, I just kind of get together. I don't know.
And we got all the new water meters installed.
That's right. You know that answer. I think we have most of them solved.
Yeah, I didn't get an exact number from James yet, but there's not many that are not new meters.
Yeah, we have just a small handful that were.
7 or 7.
Yeah.
And some of those are on places that,
The code told us it was not the wrong. All the residential,
Yeah.
all the residential aren't done.
well, unless, I know of 3 that aren't done, well, no, I take that back. There may be 1 that's not done. Any that are not done are probably at locations that are not in use or have a place there. We have meters on lots that have nothing on them. But, I mean, like I said, I'm under the understanding there's probably 7 or less that we don't have. But we would have to read them manually, they don't get out that much. So, I will confirm that tomorrow.
You don't.
Right, that took care of the water meter question.
All right, approval of September minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of September.
Got a motion by the state. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Wait, it did. I wasn't here for that, so
Two King.
I make a motion to approve the special meeting minutes.
All those in favor say aye.
Review comments. Is there any public comments? I don't see any.
This part's not here. Finance officer report.
So, our general fund and from the United Community Bank, our balance is at 637,883. Our revenue coming in is still roughly 45. As of 9/30/22, expenses going out, is 157,590. American Rescue Plan grant, bill is at 218,640. The Cal bill, we received the work allocation for it, 42,215, we'll get the check part in this December. Water sewer fund is at 6145, and our drug fund is at 3589. The First National Bank, we got a difference increase of $558 last month, so that brings us to 308.88, and the management trust general fund is at 357.72, so an increase water, sewer, they're funded, five of it is $410. And also, I met with Ken Green, and he has finished all of our revenue through April of 2022. And I spoke to Cindy, who is our auditor, and she is perfectly fine with me putting a monthly gross amount into it instead of having to do it by day. So, up to April 22, I can put it in as a monthly gross amount, and then after that, it has to be. And then Paul Imes is still working on payroll that will have to be posted, and we'll reconcile the revenue after the 2021 audit has finally been completed and submitted to LGD earlier this week or Friday. But Cindy says that she will be here next month to present 2021. And Jennifer and I are trying to some software all week this week, and hopefully we'll have software.
How do you like this performance? Cindy?
I have, no comment at the moment.
I'm gonna go back to the police, chief went out here to some training, but they got their new Durango in, it's very nice. That's all we know.
Right, we gotta get lights on it, radio, and that sort. So there is a post for this on it, that was presented.
Oh, is it? Gary, Public Works.
Yeah, we got it.
Instead of covering every item, y'all got some, a lot of things that are big on. Any questions, let me know. Hopefully, the last item on the last page there, hopefully the rebalance will be when we get that. Last time we went to change the pump and we didn't get another water off, a lot of valves were bad, we would be on the rate. Hopefully we get that thing up soon, those valves. I don't know how to address it, seems like a lot of the citizens think it's the town's responsibility for everything. You know, they call us out, we tell them, yeah, we need to show you how to lead. And they, what are you doing? Sure, that we're not gonna do anything, but, you know, we try and help them as much as we can, just like the deal with Case, sewer back up, the cops out there, then they turn around and call us back after hours to remove a manhole. But, I mean, we help them always do it, we were out there for 2 hours, but, you know, that was a grease problem. So, that's another thing that needs to be addressed in the city, is the amount of grease that goes in the sewer.
They're not grease traps moving out there.
Well, they have one behind the door, but, I mean, it's not just being, while we were sitting there watching the hole to try and get their footed out, I mean, you can see grease going down the line. I mean, you know, it's like you see it.
You've got to have grease traps, that'd be the worst place to look.
I think none of the restaurants do it, frankly.
Well, they're all required.
They're all
I know,
water.
I think it's required.
The ordinance requires it, so this kind of just, you know, we went back and looked at the ordinance. Okay. So
We're
we're,
doing inspection.
well, that's what we're gonna have to do, is do inspection, and then come up with some kind of plan.
Yes.
Because they're actually all required to have underground tanks, that, basically like a septic tank, they take the grease, separate it out, but for long. Anywhere where there's the potential for grease, so anywhere like the kitchen area. It would work, it would have to be in schools, that same thing. We haven't even looked at schools. But,
Can you get the county inspector to handle that, or is that something we do?
well, the health department should have inspected that and take that up, because it's a health policy. We pick up health in our work. It's just interesting that this happened, and they have a grease tank that's sitting over there, why? It doesn't appear to be used.
Yeah.
We have all those problems.
It's not the distance of the building.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you know, barbecue place down here, they're just back away from the building, like supposed to. But
if they call, just give them the town manager, let them be decent. let him do it. You should be able to try and explain to a citizen why you're not there if you can't fix it. That's not your job. Your job
Well, I
is to fix it.
mean, we do, but, you know, they get frustrated because we can't do it. My question is there any way, I mean, I know of 2 water meters right now that are leaking, people all have money to pay. So,
There's the water meter leaking,
The water
they
meter.
have a water leak.
Oh,
The meter says leak. And like the one right down here below the county, there's not a wet spot in the yard. But when you cut the water off under the house, the leak stops. The leak stops. Turn the water back on in the house. Well, I take that back. The one down here, you cut the water off, the meter didn't stop. It kept showing leak. There's another one right down on the back street back here that, probably Mark, and England. 5 feet back, meter. But that was 2 weeks ago, and there's no hold up yet. That was the homeowner.
Have we
It
talked-
is, but,
Once they pass the meter, we're legally prohibited from doing it. We can cut the meter off, so they don't have water, which we also have to do if they don't fix it.
but what time frame?
And then we can hire a plumber, we can't do it ourselves, we can hire a plumber and then build. I mean, those are options that we have.
Are these rental properties or are they homeowners that live there?
The one, I know it's a homeowner, the other one, I'm not sure, it's trailer down there, I'm not sure.
Like 3 of them together right there behind us?
He's on the very end of the last street.
He owns the trailer, not the,
Cool.
Leo. Leo for our new, he named that one in there.
He's got an orange Mustang and then he's got a truck there with.
Snowplow.
Yeah, he's trying to sell it, but, you know, we went over to check, the meter says leak. And then you walk 5 feet, it's like,
There's your answer.
yeah, not here might be a leak, but as of this morning when I went to the treatment plant, there's no hole in it.
I thought. Well, in 20 years ago. It's on my side. I have those. Say at least 700 or something, $3,000 later. I think it's the leak. But that's my responsibility.
That's just something I want y'all to be aware of, we run into that, you know, people are frustrated because we can't do anything, but they don't want, I don't want to take this on. It's just frustrating.
Are they paying the water bill?
Or the night, well, I guess they are. I know the 2 we went out to, they were questioning the elevated water bill, and then we checked the meter. So, we did somebody out here that was waiting down the street, we think we know about where it's at, but I haven't been back down to see you up on that. Do you have any questions about anything else on here? Okay. All right. Thank you.
We're coming up on the year date for some gas, so we'll all get together and have a picture up there.
We're gonna make it stable, or?
Yeah, if you don't mind, the nice skirts and all that.
Okay.
Okay,
Bill?
do we need to schedule these special meetings tonight? How do we do that?
Let's do that here, County Commission, but Bill, go ahead and go.
Go ahead, Bill, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I just have a couple things. Went to the county and, spoke to Philip, the car, and DOT. One of the things that the county was interested in, I think we were interested in, I've got several references here for years where we talked about diagonally parking along here, around the street. DOT, they have a great history of photos, and they showed it diagonal when they came and did a major repainting, but then a couple years later, it was shown straight. You know, the perpendicular parking. And so they didn't have a problem with it. All he was gonna do was check to see if there was an issue, like was there some reason DOT did it or somebody else did. If not, then we can work on getting that, changed back into diagonal. So that was one of those things. The other thing, is, so I have the paper here, just one of the papers. It has a section for, different civic meetings, and one of those is the Newland Business Association, which meets here the third Tuesday of every month.
Which is the fun, and that's not my memory.
Right.
Why are y'all still running that? Somebody's got to be paying.
Well, they have to know.
I mean, yeah, I don't think it's here for.
Who's paying? Who's paying?
That, no, we just, nobody.
You just did it.
Yeah, I did call them, they run the regular PSA.
I'll do that.
Okay, yeah, okay. It's
I
just-
didn't even know that.
Well, I didn't either, and somebody mentioned it, and there was some conversation, and then, oh, it's in the paper. Oh, it is. So, that kind of it. I've gotten contacts, two contacts for street lighting. So again, if I can just get an idea, a clue about what you want, then I can, run that. So, I think that's it. That's it.
Have you got anything about finishing the building up on Scott?
We do, we have two contract, or two estimates, but I know I only got one in possession. Oh, no.
That's okay, you have two, and, now, are these estimates with all the utilities that we discussed?
Yeah, this is a full estimate. So,
Doors and all?
doors and all. Doors like 500 feet or something there, they're big.
Power?
Power running underground, putting in a bathroom downstairs, with a shower in it, and then creating a loft, with some office space above, or storage space above, get stuff up, so we have more room on the floor.
Heat in there of some sort?
Yeah, we'll put some heat in there, we have to put heat, we don't have to put air conditioning, we have to put heat, so at the very least, we'll look at like a fan, like a ceiling fan, you know, we'll keep it, we'll talk to you guys. The real name of it, yeah. No, the actual name of the company. But they're great for warehouse spaces like this. And then we have to have heat in there, so. Yeah, so the bottom, way down in the bottom corner there is the total. That's up to us. Yeah. There's no natural gas up that way that I can find, so it's either gonna be propane or electric.
Typically, in building that big, it's propane and something, so.
Yeah.
How much price difference is there between propane and natural gas? The reason I ask is because I saw an article today that was talking about how much natural gas is going to go up.
Yeah, natural gas can go up 40%, now it's going to go up 40% again in January. And, propane, line propane from out here at Blue Ridge is about $2 right now, less a gallon. Natural gas. So,
Yeah, and it's only gonna go up transportation costs wise right now, that's the only projection. I have. Yeah, and that's what we would do, we would set an annual contract with them. So short of doing this, you know, this amount of money, the other thing we can do is like, let's knock the doors in there, and get them on like building secure, and fill the gravel in that they're talking about,
Chesapeake.
which has to be done anyway.
You know, move stuff.
And then we can move some stuff over there temporarily while we're, you know, while we're trying to get money together to finish this out. So that's an option. That's still gonna be, I mean, gravel is still gonna be, you know, compact gravel. Ramp it, you know, so it's gonna come out of the building a little bit. Then you have those doors, which are not gonna change the price, and the openings for them. So, that's just a secondary option we were kind of batting around with.
Well, the other bid, is it less than that one?
I don't remember. I actually didn't see it, he was here when I wasn't here.
What company is it?
No, that's what it was. Where's that other bid? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, you asked,
Ask Mr. Bragg, I've asked
Right.
BTC
DTC, no, but it wasn't him, it was,
for the gravel, having contract.
yeah,
97, one of them, no, green was 97,000.
oh, you don't want, yeah. I mean, they do great work. They're in such a jam with
You're thinking Greg. Greg walked in and I asked him, it's Greg.
No, there was
Oh,
another,
no, that was, yeah, that
there was
was
another guy you called and talked
my
to.
old stoneman.
Called me.
Yeah, old stoneman.
So he dropped one off, I don't know. Anyway, something when he came in, so I never saw it, and I, or called him back. Yes, got it. So the 3.2 million we got, of course.
Government stuff.
Yeah, so we've got that grant. Jessica has it, we printed it out, she's got to fill in some information, I signed the documents,
That's to pay off the sewage plant, that's for the backhoe pay off, 2 million out to.
It's for water, and sewer, right?
Right now, the estimate to get out to water and sewer to get out to the golf course is 2 it's $3.2 million.
So really 800 and 167, that's 967.
Right. Yeah, if we bring water only out there, of course, sewer's actually a little bit more to get out.
But now the grants for water and sewer.
Yeah, it over, that's 2 boxes.
Oh.
Before they're not going to lose, how many we work on the not team.
Well,
From hardware first, like replace some of the infrastructure that they've done.
Mountain Glen came up because, Mountain Glen came up because the county actually brought it up, and they have additional money to help that.
Yeah, I think y'all were missing it, this was specific, you know, when the budget put it in, it was, this is what we're gonna do. They said, what are you gonna use it for?
Yeah.
And I called, got the price of the sewage plant, which was 890 something, and then the price of the backhoe was, I told them 167, which is the new backhoe, I think we were making payments for loss, surely that backhoe. So there'd be money left there, those are the 2 things the government offers, plus run out now, and that's what it's earmarked for, that's what the state was told we were gonna use.
Amen.
Is that estimate?
I guess
No,
I,
that's for the sewer. Does that include right of ways, such stuff, is that?
No, I don't think we need to. We're already out in the right of way, and we've got enough right of way to keep going. We won't connect into them, we'll just bring it out to them. Because there's no way we can service them, we're gonna have a tank.
I just want to cut off all of that. Pump station, like this.
No, the only, we've got a pump station on wastewater stuff already, out on English. The only advantage to this is we can control where growth goes, and there's a lot of land out there to develop. So if there's water and wastewater out there, you know, we can kind of annex out that direction and have more business, you know, larger footprint businesses. So I know Blue Ridge Propane, they need to grow. And there was stopping them not having water. So it was just beyond our system. So, you know, there's a couple of business opportunities that the county, I know, that talk to people, and we talk to people out in that direction. So that would be the logical direction for us to grow the least amount of party for us.
the county is talking with the developer right now about just past where that wooden building is, like a major shopping center, like Royal King, Kohl's, and there's a couple others.
Yeah, it's actually pretty, I don't know how much will actually get done, but it's actually really large stuff, because they know they're bringing people, you know, was almost the front was almost there, you know, Rome out beyond it, and then over here to the cross Northern, and so there's a lot of people that.
We're looking at Morganton and Virginia.
Yeah.
Right now,
Where there's
well,
broken.
yeah, and right now, exactly, right now, we're one of the people sit there
Yes.
for out-of-state grad students, not actually.
Yeah, it's interesting that when you start actually looking around, it's like, well, here, I go by it. So it's like, what's driving? There's something driving, I can figure that out.
Actually, I think it's prices. The realtor I'm talking to said that the prices over here right now are still 20 years behind what Boone is. So you're paying $500 a month for rent here when you're paying $1,500 a month.
Yeah. they're not getting it. Yeah, Boone has a place, so.
They'll do it like you go to a, one of their down women.
Yeah,
The college kids are paying $9,000 a month.
well, that's a problem.
A room, not a whole apartment.
Yeah, And that's part of the problem, but that's always something I wrestle with when I work there, like, well, we can't rent this building when you're asking prices for Charlotte and Boone and Lodge.
Definitely be in there, man.
So anyway, that's, yeah, I don't really have anything else to say.
Thank you, sir.
Good question.
All right,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
we got, hold on, we got council comments, there's one question that newspaper. So unfortunately, we have some of the states will deal with, the newspaper and a couple other town people would like to know why the board didn't even put a motion forward on alcohol. So I'm asking that question, why did we not do at least a motion on putting it on the referendum? Because quite a few townsfolk that brought this up, I think the newspaper is interested.
And I was asked about the going in the paper, and I was in the meeting, and I don't want to put it in the paper.
No, why would you do
If
it?
there is a reason, I don't think, you know.
My statement is it's un-American. This referendum is supposed to be put on so that people can vote for it. I'm not quite sure why the board thought that we have the right as a board of the town to keep the town people from voting on local government.
Well, and please don't take this wrong and correct me if my thinking is incorrect. I don't think we should have to explain why we made it.
Bill, can you explain the reason why we need an explanation on putting out a referendum for the town people to vote?
And if they don't like what we did,
And vote you out?
then vote it out.
No, and
And vote in people you want to do that. I mean,
that's important. I just didn't want
No, I
to
know.
put in only comments from
Well, it's not
there.
just you, yeah, don't get
And then-
offended, yeah, it's.
Well, no, and I'm not being offensive, I just want everything to
Yeah.
understand why I didn't run it earlier. Because I didn't want to be for
Yeah, we didn't even get a motion. And I think that's the number one thing that people, when I say, when people ask me, I say, I couldn't even get a motion. It's kind of stare at each other. So I think that's why the question's coming up. And if your stance is, you don't like it, I think another issue is the way it's supposed to go, the American way it's supposed to go is it needs to be put so that people can vote in the vote box. So that the Baptist can stand beside this thing and not know what's, who voted.
Well, I will say this much, and then I'm not gonna say any more, and maybe this is wrong with Bill. My vote was a personal vote, so I will say that. And I'm not gonna sit here and defend my vote,
Yep.
and why I said what I did. It was not to try to not be American and allow people to do what they want to do, wherever they want to do it, but my vote was a personal vote that has affected my life and just about killed somebody that I love very, very much. That was my vote.
Any? James?
I wasn't here, so I hadn't.
You're right. Is there anything? Okay. Ms. Christie?
when I was visiting to do that thing.
Okay.
I do all that to revisit it.
I vehemently disagree with it. I think the board should at least put it to a motion. I don't understand why it wasn't allowed for the townspeople to vote. I do not like having to drive a Van Rail and Bowling Rock to enjoy nice cups. I agree with that. We have a motion on the table. to adjourn. We have, maybe I want to be social. If I'm drinking at home, y'all call me an alcoholic. Well, I can't help you. We have a motion on the table to adjourn. Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye.
No, I will be there.
Yeah. Let me go share you on.
Thank you, Bill.
the minutes, I don't.
Yeah,
Good
okay,
thing.
I just wanted to make sure. I got you. We're just here to do your job.
Years ago, it was just not. You know where she's from?
Yeah, all the time. See, well,
Yeah.
Yeah, you know where she's. There it is.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
I'm all done. I don't have to go far anymore. Yeah. I'm telling you, yeah, no construction though.
See you, Gerald.
Take care.
I had to go that way the other day because of the doctor. I'm seriously thinking about that. It's crazy. I just feel.
Okay.
Well, we can have-